Welcome everyone. Wealth Wagon presents an informative video on exchange traded funds or ETFs. Through this video, you will gain useful and practical knowledge about ETFs. So let's get started. We will elaborate upon 5 topics that will ensure clearer understanding of the concept of ETFs. The topics are: understanding ETFs, types of ETFs, pros and cons, advantage over mutual funds, and ETFs in India. We will then move on to our conclusion, where we give our opinion on how ETFs should be employed for prudent investing. Knowing the basics of any market tool or asset is essential to its successful implementation. ETFs can be understood through 5 simple points. First is the definition. An ETF tracks an index, sector, or a commodity. It can also be defined as a basket of securities, primarily equities. ETFs can be traded daily on the stock market just like shares. ETFs enable passive investment, which is a buy and hold strategy. It is about trying to replicate the returns of an index and avoiding frequent buying and selling. ETFs are a diversified tool, as many of them are a group of equities. This allows a good degree of diversification, thus reducing risk. A significant feature of ETFs is that they have a low expense ratio. Expense ratio is the annual fee charged by a fund for its management. ETFs usually have an expense ratio of less than 1%. Now we look at the various types of ETFs. First kind is based on equities or stocks. They are of 2 types: index ETFs that track an index like Nifty, Bank Nifty, or Sensex, and sectoral ETFs that track a sector or industry like public sector banks or consumption. Then we have debt ETFs. These ETFs give an investor exposure to fixed income securities like government bonds. These give a great deal of certainty of returns to the investor. Gold ETFs are securities that are based on gold prices with investment in gold bullion. They can be a great tool for anyone wanting to diversify into an asset other than equity and who believes gold can be a hedge against economic uncertainties. The fourth type is international ETFs. These allow an investor to tap into foreign stocks and indexes. One of the most popular international ETF in India is the N100 by Motilal Oswal that tracks the Nasdaq 100. ETFs, like every other asset, have advantages and disadvantages. Let's first talk about the positives of this unique security. As ETFs are a passive investment that don't require constant monitoring and buying and selling, they charge a lower annual fee for management. Generally, they have an expense ratio of less than 1%. ETFs are a great way to gain diversification into a wide number of stocks or assets like gold and debt. This makes them useful in balancing the risk element of a portfolio. As ETFs can be traded on the market like shares, an investor can sell and buy closer to the price they like. This provides a good deal of flexibility to one's investing. For someone who has no exposure in equities or finds them risky, ETFs can be a great way to make an entry into the markets. They allow diversification and a reasonable return, thus creating a good balance between risk and reward. There are ETFs that target specific sectors or industries. This gives an investor the option to get exposure in new and important sectors. It also allows one to reduce or increase the weight of a particular sector. Now we move to the disadvantages. ETFs are traded on the market like shares, which makes them open to volatility. For example, if the market is down due to some negative event, ETFs based on equities can also go down sharply. ETFs are still not very popular in India. This means that there are less buyers and sellers, which results in a lack of liquidity. So, on occasion, you may not be able to buy or sell at the price you want and may end up paying more or receiving less. As ETFs are traded on the market, they involve transactional costs like brokerage and taxes that are charged on buying and selling of shares. Purchase of ETFs requires a demat account, which comes with its costs like depository charges and the annual maintenance charge. Oftentimes, a person who has bought an ETF with the motive of investing may end up selling it in panic because the market is falling. The fact that ETFs can be sold like shares can become a negative factor because it gives the luxury to sell instantly. Thus, a person's investing goals get misplaced. Now let's discuss the advantages that ETFs have over mutual funds. ETFs are traded on the market, which allows an investor to see their NAV in real time. Just like prices of stocks move up and down during a day, the NAV of an ETF also fluctuates. Mutual funds do not have this benefit. An investor can buy a mutual fund only at the NAV at the day's end. This end of the day NAV could be different from the one he saw when he placed an order to buy. On the other hand, as ETFs are traded during a market session, the purchase price often remains very close to the NAV at which the ETF is trading at that very moment. ETFs give the option to trade as they are actively bought and sold during market hours. This means a trader can tap fluctuations and sentiments through intraday trades. This cannot be done in mutual funds. We have already talked of how ETFs have a low expense ratio. While an ETF generally charges less than 1% as annual fee, a mutual fund's expense ratio could be as high as 2.5 to 3%. We now move to discussing ETFs in India. In all, there are 89 ETFs in the country. The growth of ETFs will be much faster in the coming years as people are gaining more awareness about this security. We have made a list of ETFs based on their underlying asset. Let's quickly go through them. 17 track the Nifty 50. 11 are based on gold. 8 track Bank Nifty. 8 are debt ETFs based on government securities. 4 track the Sensex. 3 track Nifty IT. 3 are based on international indexes and stocks. 2 are liquid ETFs based on instruments of short maturities. And the rest 33 are based on equities. There are 17 ETFs that have Nifty 50 as their benchmark. To present an accurate picture of their performance, we have only taken those ETFs that have existed for over 10 years. During the last 10 years, Nifty 50 gave a compounded annual growth rate of 10.51%. The Aditya Birla Sun Life Nifty ETF has given the highest return of 11.77%, followed by Invesco India Nifty ETF that gave 11.41%. The third best performing fund is Nippon India ETF Nifty Bees. Let's look at some of the best performing gold ETFs in India. The returns mentioned are for the last 10 years, which is a substantial period to judge the performance of an asset. Gold ETFs gave best returns from May 2019 to June 2020 when the stock market was doing badly. The top performing gold ETF has been UTI Gold ETF or Gold Share with a compounded annual growth rate of 5.26%. Next is Aditya Birla Sun Life Gold ETF, and then comes Invesco India Gold ETF. Both have given a similar return. Now we talk about debt and liquid ETFs. The returns for the funds mentioned are for the last 5 years. The top two debt funds are SBI ETF 10-year Gilt and LIC Government Securities ETF. They both have the 10-year bond yield as their benchmark, which has given a return of 7.16%. The third fund mentioned is the Nippon India ETF Liquid BEES. Its benchmark is the overnight lending rate or the Nifty 1D rate. It has given a return of 4.24% against its benchmark that has yielded 5.31%. Now let's see how international ETFs have performed. There are only two such active ETFs in India, as the third one, Mirae Asset NYSE FANG Plus ETF, will be launched in May 2021. The index returns have been taken since the inception of the ETFs for better comparison. N100 by Motilal Oswal began in 2011 and tracks the Nasdaq 100. It has performed brilliantly by giving a compounded annual growth rate of 24.42%. In comparison, its benchmark has given a return of 18.31%. The Nippon India ETF Hang Seng BEES has given a compounded annual growth rate of 9.87% over 11 years. It tracks the Hang Seng, which has given a very low return in comparison. Let us now conclude the presentation with our opinion. We believe that ETFs can be a great investing tool if employed patiently and sensibly. ETFs are particularly good to gain easy diversification into different asset classes. One of the best ways to employ them is by gaining exposure to a specific asset class that has the potential to move up in the near future. Lastly, we are confident that ETFs have a bright future in India. In a few years' time, they will expand rapidly. Hence, it is advisable to give them attention now and make use of them in accordance with your risk profile and portfolio. We hope you gained a considerable understanding about ETFs. Wealth Wagon is working to expand financial and investing literacy, and we will continue to come up with similar videos that benefit the common investor. Thank you.